accomplishment that they have made in their athletics. We look forward to seeing each of them sign today, and even more than that, I look forward to following them as the next 4 years play out and seeing and liking and retweeting our alumni performing at the collegiate level. And we see more and more of that. And I look forward to these student athletes as well doing that. I would like to turn it over to our principal, Ms. Wilson, to welcome you here and to say a few words as well. After that, we will be turning it over to each sport to speak on behalf of their student athlete and have them come up to the table for the signing. Okay? Thank you so much.
Parents, I remember being you. I had my youngest child signed and played Division I baseball for 4 years, so I know the journey you've been on, and I know the one you're about to embark on. And it is exciting and fun. You make some of your closest friends for life and the parents you've spent every weekend with for what seems probably like an eternity. I think that I had a student ask me the other day, how would you define what it means to be a War Eagle? And I'll tell you what I said to the student was grit and grace. And these student athletes are some of the grittiest kids we have in the building. They are genuinely students that work hard, put themselves out there, understand what it means to sacrifice in order to attain and reach goals. And they got there because parents were behind them with the "Oh Dark 30" wake-up call, driving all over the state of Georgia or the greater Southeast or across the country. So students, it is very important to me as a parent and as your principal that you are particularly gracious and thankful to your parents, because you really, talent or no talent, wouldn't be where you are without your parents behind you sacrificing for you to achieve this goal. So I think student athletes, it's appropriate to give your parents a round of applause right now. And mean it. I say to you parents, enjoy the next 4 years as much as I hope you've enjoyed the previous 4. It does go very quickly. I listened to student athletes at the volleyball banquet the other night talk about how quickly the 4 years passed for them. I'm sure you've heard your own children say the same thing. But as a parent, you're going to hold the last 4 years and the next 4 very near and dear to your heart as your children become adults and move away from athletics and go on to whatever it is they're going to do with the remainder of their life. Students, could not be more proud. You represent our school and yourselves and your families every time you step on the field or the playing surface of choice, or dive in the pool if you happen to be a swimmer. And you do that with grace and with grit. So the grace is winning with grace, the grace is losing with grace, the grace is perspective during a pandemic, right? We'll take the wins we can get, and by that I mean gathering as we can. So it doesn't look the same. Maybe by spring we'll be fortunate enough to invite you back, not necessarily to re-sign, but to have your tables and have your friends and your outside coaches come and gather and celebrate with you. That will be our goal for all spring signings. We'll see what the world has in store for us then. But I welcome you. I congratulate all of you, parent and student alike, and hope you enjoy the remainder of the morning. Thank you.
It's really exciting when you look back. This is my 12th year at South, at how well we have progressed in regards to not only the number of student athletes that continually sign each year, but the process and really just the celebratory aspect that we've gone through for the young men and young women. 10, 12 years ago, I felt like we were one of the first high schools in the area to really start to celebrate and recognize the players. And then I look at what we've accomplished looking around at days like today, facing kind of the adversity that we are, but we're still here able to get everybody together to celebrate a wonderful accomplishment of all of our young men and young women. Couldn't be more proud of our student athletes and what they've achieved. Couldn't be more grateful and more proud of the school that we're a part of, who will go to the lengths to do what they do to make sure that our young men and young women are recognized. So big thanks to Coach Bronner, Coach Gravett, Miss Wilson, and everybody else at the school. More importantly, super, super proud of our student athletes. Today, we've got 4 young men in the baseball program that we're going to celebrate signing their national letters of intent. First young man that I want to start with was also the first one to commit within the program this year. Senior Garrick Fry. Garrick has been a 3-year starter for us at South and has just made absolutely tremendous strides as a ball player and as a leader. A lot of people don't really realize the 2018 season, we had a great year. We were fortunate enough to win the region, and of all the decorated players that we had, he was the only freshman that actually dressed with us through the entire state playoff run. Fast forward a year later, Garrick is a sophomore, kind of has a coming out party on national television. We're playing Orange Lutheran in the National Invitational in Cary, and at the Team USA facility, facing the #1 team in the country with probably arguably the best high school arm on the mound. And Garrick goes out on national television and makes a statement, gets 2 hits, doubles and singles in consecutive at-bats with the whole world watching as a 15-year-old young man. Now we fast forward 18 months later, and North Alabama probably signed, in my opinion, one of the greatest up-and-coming middle infielders in the Southeast, and they know and they're well aware that they have a person who is not only going to help lead their program on the field, but outside the field as a student athlete. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call up the Fry family, and we're going to recognize Garrick.
My name is Garrick Fry, and I'm going to play baseball at the University of North Alabama. I'd like to thank my teammates, friends, family, and Coach Bear as well, and all the coaches I've had in the past. Thank you.
The next young man that we're going to go ahead and bring up is fun for me because it seems like over the last 8 years, he's been directly or indirectly involved in the program between himself and his family. His older brother came through the program, was a standout player for us, is now playing college baseball, and now we get to recognize him. Connor Finnegan had a bit of a coming out party last year in the shortened season that we had. He had dressed for us on varsity and came out of the bullpen, had been a bit of an impact player for us, but really didn't get a chance to establish who he was or what he was capable of doing. We evolve into the spring of 2020, and Connor makes some great adjustments, really starts to dedicate himself to his craft, and a lot of good things started to happen. I think reflecting back, his last 12 or 14 innings were scoreless for him. He carries it over into the summer and makes a really, really big statement with the way that he takes the mound. Everything went super solid. He started garnering a lot of attention into the fall. The next thing you know, there's a lot of different schools reaching out and wanting Connor to be a part of their program. He made a great decision a few weeks back to go ahead and commit to play at Volunteer State in Tennessee, which is going to be a wonderful stepping stone for him for even bigger and better things to come as the next couple of years go on. I'm super excited, as I know his teammates and his peers are, for what he's going to do for us in the program coming into the spring, and even more so excited for him in his future. Connor Finnegan.
My name's Connor Finnegan. I'm going to Volunteer State Community College. That's about it. You want me to do that?
To play baseball.
Oh, to play baseball.
The next young man that we're going to bring up, just to tell a little bit about his background and some of the things that he's done to advocate for himself, was a little less of a traditional path of some of the other guys who had came out, had dressed for us, had seen playing time as an underclassman. He had come through the program as a freshman, as a sophomore, had played on the JV team, didn't get his first taste of varsity play last year until his junior year. But the things that he had done in terms of maturation, in terms of his work ethic, really stood out and really kind of reflected who he was becoming as a young man, as a student, as a ball player. He decided to focus on baseball going into his junior year, really decided to focus on his body and taking his ability to the next level. Of all the young men that have committed over the years that I've been here at South, I can honestly say Andrew Keitlinger has advocated the most for himself in terms of the recruiting process. A lot of times it kind of comes naturally. People get some phone calls, things fall into place. Everything that occurred, and for Andrew to have the opportunity to play at the college level, was a direct reflection of himself and the effort he made. Not only was it between the lines, he was the most involved I've ever had of all these young men, advocating, reaching out to schools, posting videos of himself, keeping in touch with me, following up, asking me to make phone calls for him. He genuinely handled the entire process on his own. And for an 18-year-old young man to go through something like that and to put that amount of work in, the University of the Cumberlands really got their hands on a young man who we know that's not only going to be a verbal and a physical leader, but advocate by his actions as well when he gets on that campus. Andrew's made catastrophic strides. He continues to get better on a daily basis. And quite honestly, as a coach, I'm really excited about the relationship that we've developed with him going through this recruiting process. I know that his family's super proud of him, and I can't wait to continue to see him grow as a young man and as a baseball player. Andrew Keitlinger.
I'm Andrew Keitlinger, and I'm going to play baseball at the University of the Cumberlands.
This last young man was a recent addition. He probably, in my honest opinion, would have committed about a month and a half, 2 months ago, not within this past week, if he didn't have some unfortunate luck with being quarantined and not able to get out and play. About a month ago, we had our annual senior showcase for all the unsigned seniors in Forsyth County, and going into it with the utmost confidence, I know he would have been the best middle infielder to play in it. We had about 17 schools there, and they were all anxiously awaiting to see him play. Unfortunately, he was in quarantine, wasn't able to get out there, and I don't think anybody would have been more bummed than him if it weren't for those 17 schools who were kind of waiting in the wings to get a chance to see him play. Ironically, it was a school that wasn't even there that had gotten word of him and had reached out to me, and had also committed one of our other players right after that showcase that wanted to see him, wanted to get him on campus, and wanted him to be a part of their middle infield. It didn't take long for him to get up there, and obviously he knows that having one of his best friends attending the program with him, it's going to make him that much more of a comfortable and really successful person to attribute or get into that program and get playing time right away. Max is a tremendous player, tremendous athlete, and I'm super excited to have the dynamic duo in the middle that's been together for me the last 3 years of Garrick and Max Henry. Max Henry committed to Volunteer State with Connor Finnegan, class of 2021. Come on up, Big Max.
My name is Max Henry. I'm going to Volunteer State Community College to play baseball.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Schreier, and I had the honor of coaching Blake Parkman in golf and going through the recruiting process with him these past couple years. Blake is a 4-year, or will be a 4-year starter on the varsity golf team, and he's just a golfer that has that it factor. Whenever we went to a tournament, he literally would draw the attention of all the kids, and they would just look at him simply because he's 6'4". And then when he got on the driving range and he would be hitting balls outside of the driving range, they were like, who is this guy? And I don't want to play with him. But other than his sheer physical ability in the golf, he also has that mental side. So one story about his just physical ability. First tournament we ever play in as a freshman, we go down to Tifton, Georgia. And there's a par 4, about 376 yards, but it doglegs a little to the right. And typically during practice rounds, all the teams stay together. So there's a team on the green, 376 yards away. And he goes, Coach, I think I can get it there. I'm just going to cut that corner over the pine trees. And I said, are you sure? He goes, well, maybe not, but I'll just get it up close. And I said, you know what? Fine. Just try it. See what we can do. And if I have to go apologize, I'll go apologize. Sure enough, he pipes one, and it literally trickles up on the green and in the middle of the whole team. And all I see is the coach looking back at me with his hands raised. I'm like, well, I'm going up to apologize. And that coach was like, I'm not sorry. I'm just amazed at the fact that he can get it there. And I was like, well, yeah, that's my freshman, and his jaw just dropped. But aside from his physical ability, he also has the mental side, and that's 90% of golf. And one other story where I messed up with him was in our area tournament a couple years ago. He hits a drive and has probably about 115 yards out. And I've been watching the players before on that specific hole, and you just run it up on the green, and the hole was in a bowl, and it just rolls around, trickles right to it. And so I tell him exactly what to do. He does it, and it doesn't do what I tell him it's going to do. And it rolls right off the green, about 15 feet below the pin. But instead of getting frustrated, he literally is able to have the ability to calm himself down. He gets there 15 feet below the pin. He goes, all right, I'll just get up and down for par. And sure enough, he does. He's off the course. He is a very polite kid, a great kid to be around, one that'll be, no problem at the University of Georgia where he is signing. Going through the recruiting process with him has been a lot of fun for me. And he had the opportunity to go to a number of different places. I've had coaches from Notre Dame, Auburn, Ole Miss. They all called me wanting to know about Blake. And it's just been a fun time going through that process with him of what little I did. So I'm very excited for him to be signing with the University of Georgia today. Blake Parkman.
I'm Blake Parkman, and I'm going to be playing golf at the University of Georgia.
Hi guys, I'm Coach Robot. I am the boys lacrosse coach, and I'm here to say a few things about Ryan Lightsey. Ryan's going to sign today, and I've been blessed and honored to have known Ryan since his freshman year, but I didn't really get to coach him that much during those years when he started, because I spend more of my time working with the 9th graders and the JV guys. So when Ryan got here, he actually contributed to the varsity program right away. So Ryan is an incredibly talented player, but he jumped into a situation where he was competing every day in practice with some amazing lacrosse guys. And some of these guys, in my opinion, were some of the better players in the state. They have now gone on to play Division I lacrosse. And so day in and day out, Ryan was competing with those guys in practice. And last year is when we got to see the fruits of his labor. We got to see things actually pay off for how much work Ryan has been putting in. He led our team in scoring, and he did an amazing job. And a lot of times coaches, we see guys have success at a young age, and it changes them a little bit. Ryan is still a really humble guy. He's very down to earth, and our coaches saw that. And so our staff last year, what we decided to do is we broke tradition. Normally we pick all our captains to be seniors, and so we decided to change it up. We felt that we could really use a younger guy that has some strong leadership skills to keep things going throughout the summer. And I'm so very happy that we did, because as you guys know, it's been some interesting times, right? Last year our season got canceled. A lot of uncertainties, a lot of anxiety going on last year. And with Ryan being in a leadership position, he was one of those guys that kind of held things together. He was a pillar in the program. And so we're so lucky that we had a guy like Ryan in our program. And I think a big part of that is Mr. and Miss Lightsey. You guys did an awesome job raising your boys. And Ryan's just a stand-up guy. And so I think Queens is very, very lucky to have a guy like Ryan. And Ryan, I'm really excited to see you keep going, and I love you a lot, man. I wish you the best.
All right, my name is Ryan Lightsey, and I'm going to play lacrosse at the University of Queens of Charlotte. and I just wanted to take this time to thank my family, my teammates, and my coaches, like Coach Hurlbut, Coach Hamley, and Coach Leary.
Hi, my name is Leanne Brooks. I'm the head softball coach here at South, and today we are going to be recognizing 2 of our softball players. These 2 girls did an outstanding job. I always talk about how leading is not easy, and especially when you're leading your peers. And these 2 young ladies did an amazing job, and not only during a normal senior season, but we've already completed our softball season, and so they had to go through all of these COVID restrictions. And as a coach, you know there's things that you sometimes forget, and these 2 young ladies did a great job of helping us maintain those guidelines and keeping our girls 6 feet apart, masking up, and that helped to allow us be able to finish our full season. So we're very blessed to have been able to make it all the way through our season, and they were part of the last 2 years, well, 3 years, making it to the Sweet 16. And that is a huge accomplishment, especially in our classification with 7A. So they've done an outstanding job on the field, leading, and I couldn't ask for more. So first, we're going to be recognizing Ruthie Allen. Ruthie was part of our varsity roster for 3 years. Her freshman year, she was at West. Fortunately, we were able to gain her sophomore year. And since then, she's done outstanding things for our program. She is one that arguably, I would say, is one of the best athletes in our school all around. Just her physical capability of what she is able to do. Whether it's in the weight room, speed and agility, or softball related, she is an outstanding athlete, and she has been extremely fun to watch. She is one that I would say, in my years of coaching, she's probably one that has shown the most growth from one season to the next. She took on a new position this year where she decided that she wanted to catch. I tried to get her to do it last year, but she kind of wasn't feeling it at that time. But her presence alone behind the plate was incredible. Just with her throwdowns in between innings, we had a lot of teams that weren't going to run on her. And it was great. She only caught for a year and a half, and to be able to do some of the things that she did, you would think she was a natural, and that was her primary position her entire softball career. Ways she was able to frame a ball and move her legs like I have never seen someone move was amazing. And so this year alone, I have a few of your stats to share. She finished with a .434 batting average, which is amazing. To go through almost 30 games and to maintain over a 400 average is awesome. She also had a .505 on base percentage and a .684 slugging percentage, which is outstanding. She also had 28 RBIs and 33 runs scored. She was one that was definitely an impact player and someone that was able to carry us as far as we did into the Sweet 16. And also this year as county or as region champs. She was also selected for the all-region first team, and she was asked to play in the Georgia Dugout Club's senior all-state team, which will be played this weekend. Today, she will be signing her national letter of intent for Walter State Community College. So come on up, the Allen family.
My name is Ruthie Allen, and I'm committed to Walter State Community College to play softball.
Next, we're going to be recognizing McKenna Siegel. She has been a part of our varsity roster and started all 4 years. She is one that, from her freshman year when we first saw her at tryouts, we knew that she was going to accomplish great things. She's one that expects nothing but greatness from herself and also her teammates. She's one that I can always count on to where I don't even have to say anything to get the effort up or the attitude. She's one that's going to address those ladies, and that is very much appreciated. Watching her accomplishments from her freshman year to her senior year has been amazing and super fun to be a part of. I do have some of her career stats and also some end of the year season stats. She finished with a .468 batting average this season and a .676 on base percentage. She also, in her last year, found her name at the top of several of our records for the entire program. For season records, she holds the batting average of .585 that was set her junior year. On base percentage of .722, also her junior year. She set a season record for walks of 43, which majority of them were intentional. And then she also set the home run season record of 12 her sophomore year. And you might think that's kind of odd for it to be her sophomore year, but in our region, other teams that we face, if anyone did their job and scouted this young lady, they knew that they didn't want to let her beat them. She has an amazing swing, has amazing power that she's able to generate to hit the ball, and several times hit it higher than and farther than I have seen anyone else hit the ball. And so after her sophomore year, when she hit 12 home runs in a single season, she didn't see very many pitches. She was intentionally walked several times throughout her junior career, or junior season, and her senior season. And then for her career records, she has a career batting average record of .489, on base percentage of .620. She was walked a total of 118 times throughout her career, which holds the record. She had 117 career RBIs, and her career home run record is 34, which not only is the school record, but is also the county record that she broke this year, where she hit 3 home runs in one day at Mill Creek. She has also, along with her record accomplishments, she has also received several awards throughout her time here. So far, she has been a 3-time All-County player, 4-time All-Region First Team, 3-time All-Region Academic Team, 2-time All-County Player of the Year, 3-time All-Region Offensive Player of the Year, and 3-time All-State. Hopefully, some of these have not been voted on yet, but we're hoping that at least by the end of the year, she will have added to several of these award lists. Last year, she was asked to play in the junior all-star team. And then this year, she was also asked to play in the senior all-state team, which, like I said, is this weekend. She's without a doubt one of the best players that our program has ever seen. With records like these, she's going to be hard to beat. So today, she is going to be signing her national letter of intent for the University of Mississippi.
Hi, my name is McKenna Siegel, and I'm going to play softball at the University of Mississippi. Hotty toddy.
Hey, I'm Coach Bergdahl, and I'm the head coach for South Forsyth Swim and Dive. And today we're going to celebrate Jordan Edwards. And she has been a competitive swimmer since the age of 7 in Summer League, and then decided that she was passionate about the sport and decided to go on at the age of 9 and swim year-round. The dedication and the strength that has taken her this far, she is an amazing swimmer. I mean, just amazing. Some of my favorite memories are her at state. So if you don't know about swimming, it's a unique sport. You usually hit a peak. She hasn't hit her peak yet. She hasn't done it. She is amazing to watch. She's beautiful. She can swim every stroke. She breaks records in every stroke and in every event, and I'm pretty sure this season we're going to see some more. She has been a key component to winning county and to placing 3rd in state in 7A, which is amazing. So I look forward to a lot of this season and what we're going to see. But that being said, the dedication that she has, getting up at 6 a.m. every morning and swimming for 2 hours in the morning, and then going on and doing an evening practice as well. The hours, the strokes, the turns, the everything. I mean, if I added them up, they're in the thousands for sure, easy. Even past that, hundreds of thousands. So that being said, she's also a 4-year varsity swimmer. When I came in on her sophomore year, it was really just, I was graced with having her as an athlete. She was absolutely amazing. She's a leader in a very quiet way. And this year, I've also got to see her in the classroom, which is another one of my favorite memories, is she's a student of mine this year, and getting to see her smile, even with masks on, and the personality that she has and the leadership she shows within her class and helping in the sense of just being fun. I mean, I can't say enough about you. You're a fantastic kid. Your parents have done a fantastic job with you, and I'm excited to see what your future has. So, Jordan Edwards.
Hi, my name is Jordan Edwards, and I'm going to be swimming at Texas Christian University. Go Frogs!